Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Today's going to be a good one. I've got my buddy Joe McCall with us here. Joe and I have been friends for a long time. We actually haven't talked all that much until recently. We started bantering a little bit and catching up on lost time and, of course, talking about what's going on in the market and all those things. So it's been good catching up with Joe. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of making offers. We all know the more offers you make, the more deals you're going to get. And we're going to talk about kind of what's changing in this market, how to make sure you get more deals done and you can move the deals that you do get. Welcome to Real Estate Investing Secrets. We're all looking for freedom and the opportunity to live better, more fulfilling lives. But most of us were trained our entire lives to work for someone else and chase their dreams. How can we use real estate investing as a vehicle to achieve financial freedom? My life is dedicated to answering your real estate investing questions and helping you build an investing business that allows you to change your life and the world around you, and to enable you to turn your dreams of financial freedom into a reality. My name is Mike Hambright from FlipNerd.com, and your questions get answered here on the Real Estate Investing Secrets Show. Hey, Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, how are you, man?
Good to see you.
I'm glad to be here.
Of course, I saw you just a few days ago because I was on your show. We're kind of swapping shows here, but it really has been a while since we've talked.
Wow.
And up until, I guess, maybe last month we talked, but cool, buddy. Well, it's an interesting time we find ourselves in here, right?
You know, I'm excited. I'm an optimist when it comes to this market, what we've got going on. I'm excited about the opportunity. They say money doesn't disappear, wealth doesn't disappear, wealth transfers,
Yeah.
And so I remember in 2002, 2001, I read a book called Who Moved My Cheese? And even at that time, I was working corporate America. I had a civil engineering degree, and I was working for a big engineering company. And I was thinking a lot about, well, what am I going to do in my career if the cheese moves? How do I know where the next opportunities are and things like that? And so I've always been thinking about that. And I've been thinking especially about that the last couple of months here with the whole coronavirus stuff. And where's the cheese moving to? Well, in some areas, it's not really moving. Some areas it is, but I think what's more important now than ever are the fundamentals. The fundamentals. And I say this all the time. What's the number one rule in real estate? Make offers, make offers, make offers. It's not location, 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 right? It's make offers. Nothing else matters. And I heard this one time too, like your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, right?
Yep.
Speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. So if you want to make a lot of offers, if you want to make a lot of money, you got to make a lot of offers.
That's right.
It's really not that difficult. I've been coaching people for a long time, and I really like that part of the business. And the first thing I always ask somebody, after I started working with them, I give my students a scorecard, and I say, all right, let's look at your numbers. How many offers have you made in the last week? And every single time somebody comes to me and is struggling or complaining or whining, it's like, this is too hard or whatever. I'm not making, I've talked to every seller says no. Every seller rejects my offer. How many times have you heard that?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's look at your numbers. Pull out your scorecard. How many offers have you made in the last week? The last month? I don't care. Tell me. 1, 2, 5.
Exactly.
So it just is that simple. It really is. I just started a 30-day accountability coaching program thing to my own audience, and it's, as we're recording this, it closes in like 8 hours, but it's a group where I'm taking some people and we're going to be holding each other accountable to making 5 offers a day. 5 offers a day. I used to try to encourage people to talk to 5 sellers a day. I'm like, oh man, that's too easy. Let's do 5 offers a day. And some people think you're crazy, but here's what I'm telling them is like, listen, I'm giving you permission to make stupid offers. Okay. Just go to Zillow, make an offer at 60% of Zillow. So we're teaching them in the first few days how to find, I'll show you what I have my notes right here from my coaching call this morning. There's like real simple 3 to 4 ways you can get leads today to start making offers on. Okay. Number 1, old leads. We all are sitting on old leads, right? Yep. Just pick up the phone, start calling old leads of yours. And if you don't have any, find a wholesaler or another investor who does. and start calling their old leads. Okay. And just partner with them. Say, listen, if you pay me a few grand for every deal I get under contract, and start calling old leads and just making offers. Number two, calling rentals on Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, GoSection8.com, MilitaryByOwner.com. Start calling landlords of rental properties and property management companies and just ask them, hey, I saw your rental here. You wouldn't be interested in maybe selling it, would you? Right?
Yep.
Did I
A lot
say
of unhappy
Facebook?
landlords these days.
Oh, there's lots of tired landlords these days. You know what's funny too? Maybe not funny, but serious. I'm seeing more and more pictures of rental properties being advertised right now on Zillow that look like Airbnb photos. And I wonder why that is, Mike.
Yeah.
So that's number one is old leads. Number two, calling landlords, and you can get their phone number or you can message them in Facebook Marketplace. The other related to that, every time I've done this, always works really, really well. And my students, it works well too. Sending yellow letters to the owners of rentals on Zillow. Because a lot of times the rentals on Zillow are, they're being advertised by property management companies, right? Leasing agents.
Sure.
So if you call the number on that ad, it's going to go to the property manager. Well, sending yellow letters to rentals on Zillow, I get incredible good response rates with those.
That's great.
You'd be shocked.
Look it up in the tax records. Look up the owner's address in the tax records or something.
Tax records. Even if the property address is the same as the mailing address, I still send them a letter anyway. You'd be shocked if you go in and look. You pull all the rentals from Zillow and look to see which ones are showing up as absentee owners in county records. It depends. It varies on the price range and where you are in the market and stuff like that. It's anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20%. 10 to 20% of the homes listed for rent in Zillow are not yet listed as absentee owners. But guess what? The house is vacant. There's nobody in it right now. And they're not getting any other direct mail or marketing from other investors because they're not showing up as absentee owners yet, right?
Right, yeah.
So yellow letters work really well. Now that's going to cost a little bit more time. That's a bigger investment of money. And, you send out the letters and you get the calls back. But the third thing I've been teaching them to do to make offers like quick, you want to make offers today, 5 offers a day, go to Redfin, go to Zillow. I prefer Redfin because I think Redfin matches more closely to the real MLS in most markets. It's not available in every city, but Redfin is really good. And you can go in and say, all right, show me all of the properties in my farm area, in my price range, whatever, that has been on the market over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right?
Yeah.
And then what I did, as I was just demonstrating this earlier today, I said, I went to Redfin, I went to St. Louis County. I said, show me all the properties under $100,000 that have been on the market longer than 60 days. And there were a ton of properties in there that for some reason just haven't sold yet, but they needed a lot of work. These are properties that only investors would buy. And a lot of investors are still buying deals today, right?
Sure, yeah.
But why hasn't that property, it's been 60 days. Why hasn't it sold yet? The price is too high.
Right.
It needs too much work. And even if it needed a lot of work, that property would have sold if the price was lower. So now it's sat on the MLS for 30, 60, 90 days. Do you think maybe the seller's getting a little bit more motivated? They've had some time to cook. Maybe that realtor's getting motivated too. They're like, I just got to get rid of this thing. So go to Redfin, look for older listings that have been on the market over 2 to 3 months that need work. Call the realtor up and say, hey, I like this property here. I'm just curious. I'm an investor. Why hasn't it sold yet? What's going on? Is there something wrong with the property? It looks like it might be a good deal. Well, I don't know, whatever they say. And then you can say, well, listen, are they negotiable? How negotiable is the owner on their price? I don't know, just make an offer, whatever, right? Yeah. And you're going to find too, the realtors that are listing those kinds of properties, they're more investor friendly and they're easier to talk to in many ways. And then just make an offer to them. And when it comes to making, this is what I'm telling everybody, and I'm kind of turning this into a lesson, teaching people. I'm like, listen, you shouldn't be on the phone longer than like 3 to 5 minutes with each person. As you're calling them or texting them, like don't be on the phone longer than 3 to 5 minutes. And then go to Redfin, go to Zillow, and it shouldn't take you longer than 3 to 5 minutes to make an offer. What I recommend is if you're looking for cheaper rental properties that need work, just go to Redfin and look at the solds from the last 6 to 12 months. Take an average of the lowest 5 Take the average of the lowest 5 and multiply that by 80%. There's your cash offer, right? If it's a nicer home, like median priced and above, just take the average of maybe Zillow and ePraisal and multiply that by 70% or whatever. But the point is this, and I'm giving people permission to make stupid offers. Just send an offer. You're not committing yourself to anything. You're not sending them a signed contract. And I'm telling people, just send, it could be an email. It could be, you need to talk to them and it needs to be in writing, but just send them an email and a letter. Just say, hey, Jim, it was nice talking to you today about your house at 123 Main Street. Before we do all the paperwork and all that, I might just be able to offer something in this price range, or would this probably work or not? And then just bullet point your offer. I'll pay you 70 grand in cash, or I'll pay you 60 to 70 grand in cash. I can close in 30 days, with an extension to the coronavirus, or and attached is my proof of funds letter or whatever. That's an offer. For me, that's a written offer. I don't like verbal offers, although you should do that, but I like something that I can send it to them in writing. Send them an email. I also recommend I'm telling people, print it in a letter and send it to them in the physical mail. The competition's not doing that.
For sure.
But this is what happens now. You've made 5 offers a day, 5 days a week. That's 25 offers a week. In 4 weeks, that's 100 offers that you've made. Chances of you getting a deal maybe is not that great. Okay. But now you've got 100 leads you can follow up with. And over the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you start following up with them every month. You call them. Hey, I'm just following up on that offer I sent you. Have you sold your house yet?
Yep.
Follow up. And that's where the deals happen. That's where the money happens, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, Joe, all the stuff you just explained, well, absent the tactics of where to go, like, I've been coaching for a long time too. And I tell people the same thing. So we focus a lot on paid advertising, generate leads through paid advertising. And we actually use Podio. We have our students, we have an accountability journal where they fill out a survey every week. Like, how many leads did you generate? How many offers did you make? And we're asking them, and I just hand drew this while we were talking here, but I kind of draw the same thing, a little funnel. I'm like, hey, if you didn't get 30 leads from paid advertising, you're not going to get one deal. So how many leads did you get? Of course, if you're offering off the MLS, it's probably not 30 to 1. If you're a good closer, maybe it's 20 to 1. It depends on, a lot of things, right? If you're offering off the MLS, maybe it's 100 to 1. I don't know. But your point is like, if you're not doing those activities, you're not going to get any deals. So when you're belly aching or you're upset about how you haven't gotten a deal yet, if you haven't put something in the top of that funnel, why would you expect it for something to come out the bottom?
Oh, and what's cool about this as a coach? It makes it so much easier to coach people in our Facebook group right now, because we've told them, listen, we're not going to give you another course. You already know what you need to do. And most people out there, they already got it in their head. They already know what to do. They're stuck in professional student mode.
Right.
And they're stuck with analysis paralysis. So whenever a question comes in, like, well, I don't want to call anybody out, but somebody submitted a question about like, what was it? Like voicemail. Like, what should I put on my voicemail? And I responded back to them. Have you made your 5 offers yet today? That was my answer to their question, right?
Right.
Makes it so much.
Stop getting distracted with the other stuff.
Yes. They were worried about, there's like 3. All I did is I just copied and pasted my question to their question in the Facebook group. Like, don't worry about it. If you're worried about like, what kind of envelope should I use, or what kind of paper should I use? What about my websites? What about my LLCs? I'm not. What if I'm under 18? What if I'm outside of the United States? Those are good, important questions, right? But this accountability group that we have here, I'm not giving them any courses. I'm not giving them any new training materials. I am giving them my scripts and my calculators and my 1-page contracts, so if they want to use that. But I'm saying, guys, stop worrying about steps 7 and 8 when you're not even doing steps 1 and 2 right now, right?
Yeah.
Stop worrying about that stuff. Like, here's the cool thing about this business. If you get a good deal, you can find partners, wholesalers that can partner with you. I've done so many deals with wholesaling partners, guys, that already have the title companies. They already have the money. They already know how to double close or how to assign. They already have the realtor's license. They already, if they need it, and they already have the buyers. So like, you can, if you're just getting started, you can just do the marketing. You can talk to sellers, make the offers, do the follow-up, and tee up a hot lead to this local wholesaler guy or girl, and they can partner with you, and you can split it 50-50.
Yeah.
If you
worry about the rest later. Get the deal, worry about the rest later.
Exactly. So that's my whole focus of this accountability group that I'm doing right now, is just make offers It's okay if you make a mistake because you're not sending a signed contract. And even if the seller accepts your offer, well, then you still have the contract to fill out, and then you can renegotiate if you have to.
Right. Right. Yep.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Some of the best advice that my coach ever told me when I was getting started is if it's close enough, go ahead and get it under contract. If it's close enough. I thought, because I'm the engineer, analytical, like I want to see the blueprint. I want to see steps 1 through 8. I want to get all my I's dotted, all my T's crossed. Because did you ever take advanced math in college? Like calculus and all that?
I probably, yes, to some level I did. Not that it's helped me in any way or that I remember any of it, but
Well,
definitely not calculus. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Well, there's a problem, and then there's one answer. There's only one answer,
Right.
and there's only one path to that answer, right? And there's not like multiple different ways. But here's the thing with real estate: it's not the same. Like there is people are involved. People are different. Every house is different. Every deal is different. There is no formula, black and white blueprint that this has to happen. And then when I was in engineering and construction, we had these thick blueprints, and we'd build properties and we'd build power plants off of these plans. Everything was figured out in advance, but it does not work that way in real estate. So if it's close enough, get it under contract. Like I'm telling people, forget about repairs. Just do maybe like $5, $10, $20 a square foot. You know, if the seller says it doesn't need any work, it's fine, it's rent ready, and you've not seen any pictures, do $5 a square foot. If they say, you know, if you can tell from the pictures it needs cosmetics, paint, carpet, $10 a square foot. If it's a full gut rehab, $20, $25 a square foot. And then just round it up to the next $5,000. So if you you calculate like $7,800, just round it up to 10. All right. Yep. And that's what I think we need to start training folks who are getting started or who are in a rut. Like stop overanalyzing the ARV. Just take the average of like Zillow, ePraisal, Redfin, Realtor.com, you know, all these other sites that give you estimated values. Who cares if they're wrong? Like, but it'll average them or take the median of them, and that'll get you close enough. Just do $10 a square foot. That'll get you close enough.
Worst case is you get it, and then you have to regroup. But the truth is more than 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get it. So don't focus on all the details of what if you get it. When 90% of the time plus, you're not going to get it anyway. So, right.
Yeah. Oh, that's so, because even when I'm making an offer on a listed property, I'm not sending a signed contract to the realtor. I'm just sending an email,
right,
or a letter, you know, just saying, hey, listen, I think before we get all into the contracts, would your client maybe accept something in this range? Or, you know what, I can maybe get them that price if they would do owner financing. What if we did it like where I can give them, and then bullet point in the email, the price, the down payment, the interest rate, the amortization, the balloon, you know, and just, and you can give them 2 options. Like I could do interest only at this, or I can do principal only payments with this, and give this up. And then, by the way, tell the realtor, listen, you can, if you want to help me with structure this deal and help me with all the paperwork, you can actually represent me, Mr. Realtor, and get both sides of the commission. I'll let you double dip the commissions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now and this goes into what we're going to talk about also, is like giving the seller multiple options. So I'm not even sending the realtor a contract. I'm just saying, this is maybe something that we could do. And listen, go ahead and throw this email and delete it, throw it away if you don't like this and if this is offensive. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, realtors are easy to offend. And then of course, now they're probably a little extra hungry right now. Right. So probably more willing to consider, and as are sellers, right? Especially landlords and some of the folks you mentioned, like that have properties that have been on the market for a while. Like they're either have gotten a little wake up call or they're about to probably. So yeah.
This is the best time right now if you're making offers to make creative financing offers. If the seller says no to your cash offer, say, well, what if I could get you that price? Would you be willing to maybe carry back some financing or lease it to me for a couple of years and then sell it to me? What are you going to do, Mr. Seller, if you can't sell this property? Are you going to rent it? I always pull away. I say, sounds to me like if this is not a listed property, I'll tell the seller, sounds to me like you should probably just list it with a realtor. Like if you really want that price, why don't you just list it with a realtor? So anyway, I just want to, it's important to make offers, but also I think it's equally important to understand creative financing and be able to give the seller multiple offers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You've been the creative finance guy. one of them, obviously, right, that have been teaching this and showing other people. And, this is kind of coming into its prime now with the market. Anytime there's a market downshift, it's like, what other tools can you pull out of the toolbox to get deals done, right? And so let's talk about, some of the tools that you use and that you teach. Obviously, lease options is a big thing that you teach. What are there other things that you do or teach, Joe?
Well, I love lease options
Yeah.
because I used to do a lot of subject twos and owner financing, and the problem, and there is a place for it, and I'm not going to badmouth it,
Yeah.
but the problem for me was when the market shifted, I was caught with a lot of debt. I owned the debt,
Right.
right?
You're
I
responsible.
owned,
Sure,
I
yeah.
was responsible for it. Now with a lease option, you control property without owning it. Now there's a place for subject twos and land contracts, contract for deeds, owner financing, but you own it and control it. And the time in my head back in '09, because I quit my job in 2009, 1 year into the last recession, flipping lease options, because I realized like I don't want to own. I had lost 10 or 12 properties to foreclosures and short sales, and it's just a disaster, and my own. So I thought I don't want to own another property again. And I had a lot of friends who were rehabbing houses and making it, even during the recession going down, they were still rehabbing properties and making 20, 30 grand, but it was still taking them 3 to 6 months to do that. And I thought, I can just wholesale. I can flip properties during that same time and make just as much money as they do without the risk and the hassle and the headaches and the adult daycare of managing contractors and managing realtors and inspectors and picky buyers and all that, right? So I would rather just be in and out, make a quick nickel rather than a slow dime.
Yep.
So then I started thinking, well, I like lease options because I don't want to own anything. I just want to control it. I don't want to own it. Because again, with an option, you just have an option. You don't own it. And it's easier, in my opinion, to get out of an option if the deal goes bad, if the market goes bad, if it gets worse. It's easier to get out of an option. And I also think it protects the seller a little more too, the way at least I structure my deals. So anyway, I started flipping lease options. I'd get a property under a lease option contract as a tenant buyer with the right to sublease it to someone else and the right to assign it. So then I would find another tenant buyer that would be willing to take my place. And I just sold my contract to that tenant buyer and I'm done and out of the deal. And I'd make a quick $3 to $5 grand assignment fee on
Yep.
these things.
Yep.
So I started doing a lot of those in 2009 when nobody was quitting their job. I quit mine because I was making more money flipping lease options part-time than I was in my full-time job. So I like the idea of creative financing, being able to offer sellers different option. Like if all you know right now is wholesaling, where the only deals you can do is when you find a seller that has equity and motivation, and you have a way to stand above all of the competition that's competing for the few small leads, you're going to be in trouble. If that's all you know, if all you know how to is make a cash offer for a significant discount, and if they don't fall in that little boundary, you're screwed. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So you can literally go from, I'll finish with this.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can literally go from getting 1 out of 30 offers accepted to maybe 3 or 4
Right.
out of 30 offers accepted.
Right. Right.
You can offer something else besides a cash offer.
Yeah. The same funnel that I just shared here a minute ago. It's like, it also looks like a phallic symbol for those of you that are watching right now. It's a funnel. This is a funnel, my friends. So you guys have dirty minds.
No, it looks like this the game piece from the
Oh yeah, Monopoly. It's like upside down. Yeah.
or
Sorry.
is it Sorry?
Sorry. Yeah.
That game?
But that's I'm not an artist, but that's my funnel. So, but yeah, you're right. If you have, that's a cash offer, right? If you're going to wholesale or rehab. But if you have some other tools in there and you find ways effectively to monetize low equity deals or
Yep.
To monetize the deals where the seller maybe has equity, but they're just not going to give it to you, right?
Yep.
And so it's a solution for what's happening right now. Now, the cool thing is that, there's so many people that are going to get it when we don't know what's happening with the market yet, but anytime there's a downturn, there's some number of people with very low equity that bought their house in the past like couple of years and don't have a ton of equity, especially if the market slips a little bit.
Yep.
Or those that had rentals and they're like, I don't really want to be a landlord anymore, but I don't want to give up all my equity to you. they're open to creative deals. I think probably landlords more than anything. They're
Well,
kind
there's
of
also a lot of,
people. They kind of think of creative solutions a little more than a homeowner might.
oh yeah, well, there's a lot of investor rehabbers right now that over rehabbed a house.
Hmm.
They were planning on selling it in 6 months, and now it's been 8 or 9 months. They were planning to spend 30 grand in the rehab, and they spent 40 or 50. And now they're like, crap, I can't sell this thing. The note is killing me.
Yeah.
But they don't want to rent it out because it's a beautiful home. They don't want to rent it out. But now a lease option might be something that they can consider.
Yep.
And I've done tons of deals with rehabbers that couldn't sell it for what the price that they needed to. And so they would willing to do a lease option and let me assign my lease option to a tenant buyer.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So if you're not doing creative deals right now, and that's definitely a tool you should be putting in your tool belt as we go into this new market. Even if it's not as bad as we think it's going to be, it's a good tool to have. So
Totally is.
yeah.
We're not saying like every time you talk to a seller, present all three offers to them at once, but like make the cash offer. And if they say no, or that's not going to work, then say, well, what if? I love the what if question.
Yeah.
What if then? So what if I could get you this price that you want? Would you be willing to carry back financing or do a lease purchase or rent it for a year or two and then sell it? Like, if I could give you what you want, it's either price or terms,
Right.
I can give you the price you want if you give me the terms I want.
Yeah.
I can give you the terms you want if you give me the price that I want. That's how I present it to the seller.
And I think a lot of sellers too are, they're intrigued by if you say, well, they're not going to take your cash offer. Maybe like you said, you don't even give it because there's like no way. You might be able to even allude and say, you know what? Honestly, I think my offer is going to be a lot lower than what you'd be willing to accept.
It's probably going to offend you, and you're probably going to be.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I've really enjoyed our conversation here. I don't want to upset our relationship here, but would you be open to like a creative solution, like something that's kind of unique? Just you might not be, but would you be interested in just hearing it? And everybody's like, well, yeah. I mean, 99.9% of people are like, sure, tell me more. Like it's just like you've opened up this loop, right? It's like, tell me more about that.
And here's the cool thing, though. I look at it as a cool thing. The chances of them saying yes are pretty slim on that first phone call because they just want to sell their house. They don't want to lease it for a year or two or carry back seller financing. But you've planted the seed. You give them time to cook, follow up with them 30 days later, 6 months later, whatever. And they're going to realize I wasn't able to sell the house if I wanted. I don't want to be the landlord. And because you followed up with them and nobody else is, then you're going to get that deal. Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting too. I think because you said nobody's following up, the truth is especially on low equity deals, by default, most people aren't even marketing to them. They've filtered those people out, right? They're just like, they're not getting hammered. It's not like if you had two houses, one of them bought it 3 years ago and they don't have much equity in the house. And one of them has it paid off. Like all else equal, the one that's paid off is getting peppered with investor advertising, right? And the other one's not getting anything probably.
What if you instead did a direct mail campaign to people that bought their houses at least between 5 to 10 years ago with FHA or VA financing, maybe 3 to 7 years ago. They bought their house 3 to 7 years ago with FHA or VA financing. That's a super easy list to get.
Yeah.
How much equity do they have? Not much. How much money did they put down in that house? Not much. But people move on average, used to be people move on average every 3 years. Now it's like 5 to 7 years, 5 years, That's a great list to start marketing to. Yep. And to come up with these offers, it's not that complicated. Like if somebody's willing to lease a property with the option to buy, I can give them any price they want as long as they're willing to wait for it within reason. So if they're willing to do a lease purchase, I can say, I could get you that if you're willing to lease it. And this is like asking this question, what if me or one of my buyers could lease the property from you, take care of regular maintenance and repairs, and take care of any vacancies? You won't have to worry about vacancies. And then bought the property and you have to pay any commissions. What would you want to do then? What if me or one of my buyers could do this? And I just spell out the quick benefits of a lease purchase.
Yep.
What would you want to do then? Or that wouldn't be of any interest to you, would it? And then see what they say. and make the offer. If it's like I only like to do lease options on nicer homes, probably in the St. Louis Midwest area, maybe 100 grand to 300 grand. I don't want to be super expensive or really cheap. I want to stay in that sweet spot. But
Sure.
if it's a rental property that investors are looking to buy for cash flow, like under $100,000 to get the ROI, I love owner financing offers. I'll just say, let's say the rental, you look at it and you say, all right, well, based on the rents, you figure that the house is worth $75,000. Well, I'll give the seller $75,000 with zero down and principal only payments for 200 months. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. I've done it. Yeah.
Or lower the price a little bit and give them interest.
Right.
Pay them 5% interest and put down 5%.
Yeah, I have some rentals now that the owner seller financed to us, and that's how the conversation has gone. Is like
Yeah.
I'll give you one example specifically, and these numbers are, this one's been a little while, so the numbers are probably a little off, but our cash offer was 45, and they wanted 65, and like there's just no way we could make it work. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I have some rentals in this neighborhood. This is a perfect rental neighborhood. It was close to my office at the time. And I said, what if I could pay you $80,000 for the house? We're like, well, that's more than we even wanted for it. And I just explained how that worked. I'm going to pay you this much per month for this many months. And they were like, that was like some magical. I literally just pulled out a magic wand, and
Oh yeah. For some reason, people are stuck on their price.
Yeah.
And they're okay with waiting 5-10 years for that, but they've got to get that price.
Right.
Let's say they want more. This is the beautiful thing about creative financing. You have so many different levers you can pull. If they want their price, then maybe you can negotiate the rent or the term or the interest rate, the payments, the down payment. Like so if they're stuck on I got to get 5% interest. Is that right? I can get you 5%, but then you just look at, then you offer a little bit less on the price. You do less down payment or whatever. So it's real simple. You just build some calculations in a spreadsheet and give the seller two different options. I can do this or this. It doesn't matter to me. Pick which one, whatever one you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So Joe, we talked we're talking about some things right now people can use in this market and really any market, but they're kind of coming into light a little bit more right now. So we talked a little bit about following up, just how important it is to follow up forever. And we talked about kind of some creative financing options. Let's talk real fast for marketing to buyers. Now, for some of the stuff you do, it might be marketing to lease option buyers, people that want to lease it and then maybe buy it. And then, of course, when you have cash, when you're buying cash and you're wholesaling, to not end users necessarily, but to cash buyers, which what I've been telling everybody right now, people that are in our mastermind and in my coaching programs and stuff, is like, hey, the cash buyer list that you've been using up until now might not have the right people on it going into this market, right? You might need some new people, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little about that. Share your thoughts on, maybe let's first start with kind of the cash buyer.
Because lease options, those are always easy to find. Like I don't really even build up my tenant buyer list.
Yeah.
Because
you just post it on like Facebook Marketplace or somewhere. So
it's really easy to find buyers for creative financing.
Right.
But for cash buyers, you're absolutely right. We're still wholesaling deals down in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia right now. And we're targeting the landlord buyers, the guys that are looking for cash flow, right? They're the best buyers.
Yep.
So I found a couple things. Number one, you got to get on the phone already and call all your existing buyers and find out what's their temperature right now. Are they still looking for deals? What are they looking for deals? If their criteria has gone down, in other words, like their buying price has gone down, then you need to know what that is.
Right.
The first thing is call all your existing buyers. The second thing is, I've had a great conversation with Sean Terry about this recently. And we're doing the same thing. We're going into small markets. There's a ton of opportunity right now in small towns all across the United States. And realtors are a great source of buyers, right? So look to see who are the realtors that are selling properties right now to investors and who are the buyer's agents. If you see a property that an investor bought, find out who the buyer's agent is. Start calling these realtors and just say, listen, I'm an investor. I'm looking for a realtor to help me sell my properties. I think you just sold a property recently to this other buyer. Are they still in the market? Are they still looking for deals? But especially in virtual markets, these realtors are going to be a great asset, and even more important now than ever.
Yep.
Finding local realtors that understand who the buyers are and what they're looking for.
Yeah,
Right?
they're more likely to know the market for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Not to, in larger markets, it's just the market's so big that
Yeah.
people might have a small farm area, or they might go do deals in different parts of town, but they don't really know it. They just wound up there. They've never been there before, and they're probably never going back to that part of town.
So don't ignore the realtors. Like, our realtors are our friends. So find the realtors. And then the other thing is, direct mail has always worked really well for me, but I do it different. I don't target buyers that are already buying in my area. I like to see in the last few months, 3 months, 6 months, who are the investors that are buying in other hot markets right now from outside of those states. All right. So if I can go in and I can see in, let's just say, Marion County, Indiana, which is Indianapolis, right? A lot of investor activity there. Well, I can pull a list of all of the investors that they're not cash buyers. I mean, they may be cash buyers, they may not. I don't care. They're just absentee owners.
Right.
I don't care if they've got it with a loan or cash, but they bought property in Indianapolis in the last 3 months from outside of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really easy list to pull, right?
Sure. That's a big list too, because
Yes.
lots of California investors, people that buy turnkeys or buy rentals.
Yep.
Like Indianapolis has been a hotbed for that, right?
Sure. And there's Memphis, Shelby County in Tennessee is another big one.
Yep.
Right now, Jackson, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, a lot of the southeastern states,
Yep. Still very
Oklahoma.
affordable housing.
Yeah.
Which makes them great rentals.
You can see who those buyers are. But here's the point. I'm looking for the buyer from California, from Oregon, from Seattle, from New York, who's buying in these other markets in the last 3 months.
Right.
I send them a simple letter that just says, hey, I see that you are an investor, that you're buying some properties here. I want to just let you know about St. Louis or Kansas City. We are the premier real estate investing company in this market, and we've got a lot of really good deals here. If you want to talk, I'd love to talk with you. And then you put your phone number in. Don't send them to a website. Send them to, and I would recommend putting your cell phone in that letter, right? That is a phone number that you want to have a special ringer that comes when they call you. And you'll do so many deals if you just answer your phones, especially with your buyers. Now, I might recommend, in FreedomSoft or Vumber, you can get a virtual number, but that should reroute and redirect to your cell phone.
Yep.
And then you have a special ring. When those buyers call, if you want to do a lot of business and make a lot of money, we heard this over and over and over and over again from our buyers. You are the only guys who answer their phone.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, I just gave you the $1 million secret right there. Just answer the stinking phone. And you'll find these guys are like, you answer that. This is why we do business with you, Joe. You answer your phone. We know we can call you. Now, so then they call me, and I don't like doing turnkey in the traditional sense of the word, right? What I like to do is I like to give them, all right, here are some deals. Here are 3 property managers that you should contact.
The pieces
Here
together.
are 3 lenders. Here's 3 insurance companies. Here's 3 property management companies. So I give them my referrals, but I leave it up to them, right? And I don't manage the rehab, but I just find out what they're looking for.
But the pieces, at the end of the day, turnkey, we've seen it. Turnkey has evolved from truly turnkey. We do everything for you. We manage it.
Yeah.
To the dirty little secret is every turnkey operator that I've ever known, or every investor that I've ever known, like none of them really want to be a property manager, and they're not very good at it. Right. And so it's like, okay, why am I putting myself out there doing this? And that's not even my strength. Like, let's find the right people in the market to do this. Right. So, yeah.
Here's the cool thing. Once you learn,
passing along value too, right? You're like, you can
yeah.
get a better deal if you put these pieces together. I'm going to give you all the pieces, assemble it yourself like IKEA.
And I'll be your boots on the ground guy that answers the phone. When nobody else is answering the phone, I'll answer it. Right. Yeah. But here's the cool thing. Now that you've got these buyers and they have money, you can start spreading the word around in your market. I've got $1 million burning a hole in my pocket right now. Bring me your deals. Bring me your deals. Yeah. And you'll start getting other people to bring you their deals because you have such good buyers. So you should never stop marketing for buyers, but especially now as the market is shifting, it's going to become more important than ever to have good buyers. You should double down on your marketing for buyers. Always, always be marketing for buyers.
Yeah. There's so many people over the last few years, they're like, built up huge buyers list, but it's full of the people that just said, hey, I'm building my buyers list, drop your email below. And
Yeah.
every newbie and wannabe, not taking anything, we were all newbies at one point. I mean, I get it, but they're not real buyers. And so you might have a big list, but there's not a lot of substance behind it. So find those people that are still buying, that are going to continue buying.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. Joe, wonderful stuff, my friend. Thanks for sharing today.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Yeah. Hey, if folks want you, I know you obviously you've got, we talked the other day on your show. You inspired me when I started my podcast 6.5 years ago. You were one of you and Sean Terry and a couple of others were people with podcasts out there. So you've been doing a podcast even longer than this show's been on. And
don't you forget it.
What's that?
Don't you forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we start calling you granddaddy. But hey, share a little bit about how folks can get a hold of you. You put a lot of great information out, a lot of great content. Where do they go to learn more about you and some of the creative things we talked about today?
Well, my podcast is called Real Estate Investing Mastery. Real Estate Investing Mastery. So just go look at it up in Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever and subscribe. I do 3 episodes a week, not as many as you.
That's a lot. 3 a week.
Yeah.
I don't do that many anymore.
Well, you used to do them every day, didn't you?
I'm a recovery.
But you still have more episodes than I do.
I've done all sorts of stuff over time, but not, I'm not doing, I do. So I have 2 shows, so this and the Investor Fuel show. I do an episode a week.
Okay.
I say that, and I'm actually recording 2 more shows. I actually am recording 5 this week, but you know how it goes. Some weeks I don't record anything.
Yeah,
some weeks I record 3 or 4. But yeah, so go ahead. Sorry.
Well, anyway, my podcast, Real Estate Investing Mastery, I love doing it, man. I love doing podcasts. I love teaching and interviewing people like you, Mike, on the show. Yep. And it's just a great way to get out. I talked to a guy today that he's got a huge operation, a huge lending operation in Idaho, lends on deals on all over the country. And I'm not talking commercial. I'm not talking like bank or hard money. Like he's a private lender. And so I had a great interview with him today. And so I love doing the podcast. I love teaching and helping people do deals. I also got a book, if you don't mind me plugging real quick. This is called Wholesaling Lease Options. I wrote this a year or 2 ago, and it's perfect right now for this market because this is a strategy that I used when I quit my job in 2009, a year into the last recession, and I see this coming back in a big, big, big way.
Yeah.
And it's called Wholesaling Lease Options. Discover one of the fastest and easiest ways to make money in real estate today. And I just teach you how to flip lease options in this book. You can get it for free if you want the book at WLObook.com, WLObook.com. If you want the audiobook, you can get the audiobook for $1.99 at WLOaudio.com, WLOaudio.com.
Okay. I'll write those links down in the show notes here. If anybody, if you're driving right now or you're not able to, weren't able to write that down, we'll put it in the show notes for the show as well. So
cool.
Good stuff, Joe. Great to see you.
You too, Mike. Thank you, man.
Yeah. And everybody, thanks for joining us today. Hope you're getting some value out of the show here. We've been doing this, like I said, for 6.5 years now for this show and cranking out content. Guys like Joe and I do this because honestly, we love just getting together with old friends. Interviewing people that we haven't had on for a while or interviewing new people that have some great value to add. So I hope you've gotten some value. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the Flip Nerd podcast. I'd love it if you do. You can find us anywhere you're listening or watching this right now. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, of course, flipnerd.com. You can access all of our shows. I'd love it if you subscribe and give us a positive review if you got some value out of it. Until the next episode, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to today's show. There are 3 ways I can help you start or grow your real estate investing business. If you're a new investor and just getting started, the Flip Nerd Investor Coaching Program is the most effective program in America. I've been coaching and mentoring new real estate investors for 10 years, and my students have literally purchased thousands and thousands of properties. Many of them started with little to no experience at all. Our program is a paint-by-numbers program where we tell you exactly what to do week by week to make sure that you don't get distracted on your way to results. We show you how to build a real business, not just create another job for yourself. New memberships are limited. You can learn more and apply or schedule a call with me and my team at flipnerd.com/coaching. If you're an experienced investor doing a minimum of 10 deals a year, up to 500 deals a year or more, or have a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio already, you should check out our powerful Investor Fuel Real Estate Investor Mastermind. Over 100 of the nation's leading real estate investors are members, and it's not uncommon for our members to 2 to 5x their business just from getting around other members at Investor Fuel. At Investor Fuel, each of us are business advisors to one another's businesses, but we don't stop at business. We focus heavily on becoming better people and living fuller lives. If you're looking for fuel for your business or fuel for your life, please check out investorfuel.com. Applications and interviews are required, as most investors are not a fit for our community. Please learn more at investorfuel.com. If you're not ready for coaching or masterminds but eager to start learning more about investing, please join our private Facebook group by visiting flipnerd.com/Facebook. New members get access to free training from us right here at flipnerd.com, and it's a community to safely ask your questions, a great place to get started. Simply go to flipnerd.com/Facebook to request your access today.